Hello, welcome everybody. I'm
Good
Stephanie.
morning.
I'm here with Jim, the president and CEO of Dash. So, welcome. We are here to talk about why businesses are going paperless. So, we're excited to have you guys on today. I have some questions for Jim. He's going to answer those for us. And hopefully, today you take away a little something about paperless office, a new thought or a new idea. And we're here to help. So, let's get started. To kick this off, tell us what you're hearing in the marketplace about paperless office and why there is such a need, a drive to go paperless.
Oh yeah, we're hearing about that more and more often these days for a lot of different reasons. I mean, at root, I think it just reflects an ongoing desire for businesses to be more effective and efficient with the way they share information. But certainly, there's a lot of pressures and maybe some unusual ones over the last year or two. Things like remote workers have increased, and that's changing the way that information flows. I used to be able to do this by just physically passing information around, and that's not as easy to do anymore. There's a lot of additional stresses on businesses, from things like lockdowns to supply chain problems to worker shortages, and now we're dealing with some unusual inflation issues. So everybody is kind of pressured to do more with less, to basically just find a better way to do their jobs. So some of the key drivers that businesses address and look at when they're looking at the need to go paperless are, they need some relief from some of these things, and as quickly as possible. They don't have time to wait for a long ROI, so that's got to be very, very short. And if done right, an approach to paperless can take effect and have an impact in short order. So it becomes kind of a no-brainer way of improving things very, very quickly.
Very good. Okay, so I've heard the term paperless and I've Googled it and tried to understand it, but tell me really what paperless means.
Good question. I always like to point out that the term is paperless, not paper-free. I don't think we're living in a society that is going to be free of paper anytime, at least not in my lifetime. It's certainly a convenient, useful tool. It's easy for people to understand, and it's a good medium for a lot of things. But less paper in certain circumstances can be a real benefit. Just think about moving those things or that information where you're better served by having an electronic than physical, and moving them into the electronic realm as quickly as you possibly can. That's an act of paperlessness. When you do that, there's no need to physically move documents or the information on them from place to place. That physicality goes away. I don't need to duplicate things because they're easily shareable. So I can share these things. I don't have a risk of losing them in the process. They're hard to damage or destroy. So when you remove the need to physically move these documents around, it's easier to facilitate the work and the workflow that needs to take place or is driven by or served by the information on paper. That in turn reduces the friction of doing business and day-to-day activities. Another interesting side note is security is improved pretty substantially. It's easier to protect these things when they're in the electronic realm. In particular, if disaster hits, it's much easier to recover. So recovery is a no-brainer. Plus, at this point in history, the tools for all sizes of businesses to move to a paperless world are really easy. You don't have to be a Fortune 1000 company anymore to really effectively move to a paperless world.
It's great to hear. So businesses out there that are watching that are smaller, this is still for you. Cool. Okay. So another question for you. What are some of the signs as a business owner that might point me in the direction of going paperless? Tell me some things that businesses might have or attributes.
Ah, good question. Hot topic these days is working remotely. That's a pretty no-brainer sort of a thing, but you could expand that to say that if you're a company that has multiple locations, whether they're across the town or across the country or across the continent, um, uh, uh, those multiple locations make sharing much, much easier. Um, Reducing waste, right, is an issue these days, and that means not just the waste of throwing paper away, right, but also the wasted time and effort filing and finding and moving the stuff to and fro. Um, Sustainability is another topic that comes up, and a top reason why people move this direction. And that is maybe first thought of as sustainability as relates to the environment, but it's also sustainability as it relates to an organization, making effective and judicial use of limited resources, whether it's people's time and organizations' space or money, and the people involved. So that's kind of a broad topic. And lastly, there is substantial gains to be had by lowering the risk involved in storing your information on this physical medium. If it gets lost or damaged or destroyed, it's gone forever. But with electronic media, much easier to make copies and restore in the event of problems.
Very good. And related to the risk, another question would be, can you help mitigate risks with security wise on a paperless solution?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the systems for this today are really pretty easy to use and pretty sophisticated in helping you determine who gets to see what and when. So I can have a large collection that's kind of fragmented up and allows only certain people access to certain things at certain times. So your security is much improved as well.
Very good. Okay, well, I think that's all the questions I have for you today. Hopefully, we got you guys excited about a paperless solution at your organization. And join us for our next live. We're going to dig into more paperless topics, especially related to implementing a solution like this for your business. So, thanks for watching.
Great. Thank you.